guys, this is Stephanie from Milkshed, and I am here with our latest yarn and coffee chat. First things first, I don't have coffee this time, I just have ice water, but boom, check out my mug. I'm obviously very excited about this. I got this when we were at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter on our vacation recently. Even though my whole family was there, I couldn't convince anybody else to go with me except for my mom. She was the only one excited about it. So we went to Universal Studios for the day. I had been to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter before when it was just like one world. Now they're calling that Hogsmeade, and then they've also done like a London Diagon Alley world, and you have to take the Hogwarts Express between the two. So we were trying to decide like which is the best way to go about this, and we asked the ticketing agent, and she was like, well, I would like to do it the way that Harry did it, which is an adorable answer, and we agreed with her. So you're walking along and then you start seeing these little shops and it looks just like London. And then you see King's Cross Station and you see Diagon Alley, and the whole thing's just done really well. They have like the bricks kind of like peeling away so that you can get into Diagon Alley, and like all the shops that you would expect are there. And right after we walk in, I see this girl, like it's not a girl, it was like an adult woman moving like a wand around. And she was really excited, and I asked her what she was doing, and she's like, oh, you can like use a wand to do different things. So obviously first step was for me and my mom to get wands. Mine's actually behind me with my knitting needles. I won't bore you with that right now. So we ate at the Leaky Cauldron, we got wands, we did a bunch of like little enchantments on things, and then you take the Hogwarts Express from Diagon Alley to Hogsmeade, and then we went all around there. It was a great time. If you love Harry Potter, it is awesome. It's well worth the trip, and I can't believe my family didn't come and enjoy it, but whatever, it's their loss. So I don't really need to do one of these things today, one of these little chats. I don't have like a ton of stuff to talk about, but Alan and I were in Salt Lake City recently, and I decided it was finally time to get a new camera. So this camera, I mean, I took pictures for my last blog post with it. The level of detail on this thing is just insane. So there is no hiding behind its detail. It catches everything. Before I was using an old, I wish I had it here. It was an older Nikon. It was like a decade old, but you know, I'm not a photographer. I don't claim to be a photographer. I don't really want to be a photographer. I just take pictures because you need pictures to do a blog post. So I wasn't too worried about replacing my camera. And then for these videos, I was using the built-in like iSight on my iMac, and that was working okay, but I had a lot of things that I felt like I wanted to do tutorials for, and I just really had no way to do it. If you guys checked out my Phoebe Cowell post, you saw that I literally was like using my iPhone propped up on a vase. It just didn't work, really obnoxious. And then because I was using a camera, a computer, and a phone, I had this like whole network of, you know, emailing things to myself and connecting cables and downloading stuff to the cloud, and it just wasn't working really well. So I decided it was finally time to upgrade my camera. I'm looking at the model right now. It's a Nikon D3300. In the realm of cameras, like definitely not even an expensive one. I got a great deal on it. There's this shop in Salt Lake City. I think it's called Picture Line. Phenomenal. They were just the absolute best. They made me feel like really comfortable with what I was getting. Gave me a ton of information. Like the guy was just like, email me at any time if you have any questions. It was awesome. So this is my first time with the new camera. I hope it goes well. This is kind of just like an experiment to see how it goes. I do have some things I want to talk about though. I have some stuff in the works. When we were in Salt Lake City, of course, I went to a yarn shop, even though I swore I wouldn't be adding to my stash too much. That is pretty much gone. I apologize. I picked up some new needles. I don't know, so we'll just like chat for a little bit, and I hope it's fun. Yeah. Okay guys, so I said this was a new camera, and because of that I might be like changing the view and the focus on a few different shots, just trying to figure out what works well. So first thing, this is my Henslow. I already showed this on the blog, but I think sometimes it's hard to see things in photo, and I just wanted to show it on video. This is from that Tanis Fiber Arts Red Label. You can see how big. I decided to make it really, really beautiful. This is a merino silk cashmere blend, and I love it. I think it turned out really well. So you can see that on camera. See how soft it is and how well it moves and all that good stuff. The other thing is this brioche cowl. I don't know if you guys, here it is. This is from a while ago. This is from in December. So I don't know if you guys saw on the blog, but while I was in Florida, the post for this cowl went crazy. And I was trying to like rapid fire reply from my phone, and then I felt like it was starting to ruin my vacation. We're talking like, I think it ended up being like 8,500 views on my blog in just one day, which is unheard of. I mean, I mentioned before that it's growing a little bit, but 8,500 views in one day, all about one cowl, is just crazy. So the problem is that some people came to the post looking for a pattern and were very upset that there wasn't one there. And then some people just liked the pictures and said that they felt like there was sufficient information in the post to make the cowl themselves. I kind of tend to agree with those people, because literally all this cowl is a 2-color brioche in the round, and you just go until you don't have any yarn left. That said, I understand that everybody works a little differently, and maybe I linked to a video for 2-color, actually just for brioche in the round. And maybe that wasn't sufficient information for everybody to be able to do this. And then the other thing is, because I was working from stash yarn, I didn't do just 2 skeins. I had 1 skein of the bright color, I think it's called Rainforest, and I had just like a miscellaneous amount of this lighter color, I think it's called Stratus, if I remember correctly. So I just like knit till I thought it was all gone. And I gave like a suggestion for how much yardage, not yardage, but like how far you should knit to be able to do it with just 2 specifics, exactly 2 skeins. But it wasn't very exact. And if you came there looking for a pattern, like I can totally see why someone would be disappointed by that. So I said that I would make a pattern. I vowed to do it. Again, this blog is like not my job. So, you know, we were in, oh, also obviously, you know this by now, maybe you don't. We live in rural Wyoming. I do not have a local yarn shop. So we came back from Florida, excuse me, on like March 10th. And then the next day, which was like less than a week after this post went insane, the next day my husband had a doctor's appointment in a town that's 2 hours away. That's like where our doctor is. So I went to my local yarn shop and I vowed that I was going to get the yarn to remake this. I didn't want to buy it online. I really wanted to go to my local yarn shop because I like them and because that's where I got this yarn originally. So I did find, I'm going to grab it right now because it's in progress. I did find this color, which is also Rainforest, so it's the same one that I used for the original cowl. But they were like really low on their selection and they didn't have a good color to go with it. So I found this color, and they go together, sure, but it makes kind of like a crazy, ridiculous, like ice cream unicorn cowl. Not really something I would wear, but the important part of it is that it's just 2 skeins, and from that I can figure out an exact pattern. So here is the cowl in progress. You guys can see, I'm going to set this aside before I drop everything. So the 2 important parts of this were, 1, I wanted to film my own tutorial of brioche 2-color knit in the round in a way that I thought was helpful. And 2, I wanted to get an exact pattern to make this cowl, or as close as you can get with only using 2 skeins of yarn. So it is, I've gotten people being like, this has been up since December. When are you ever going to get the pattern? Like, guys, this went crazy 2 weeks ago. That's it. And I mean, I'm a pretty quick knitter, but to do all of this 2 full skeins of yarn, like, it's not a fast thing. It is definitely in progress. If you're one of those people who wanted a pattern, it's coming. I apologize for the confusion. The one that I'm going to make obviously isn't going to be like an exact replica, but it will be as close as I can possibly get. And hopefully this lovely new camera makes things a lot easier and I can get a really good tutorial for you. So know that that's on the way. I just didn't really expect it, and it came out of nowhere, and the comments on the post really not that bad. Like, people had stuff to say, and that's fine. It happens on every blog. But some of the emails that I got to my personal email, it kind of took me off guard, and it was when I was on vacation with my family, and I just didn't really expect it. I never thought that my tiny little blog would have people getting like so personal. and negative with me, and now I get it. Lesson learned, and hopefully we won't have any confusion like this going forward. So it's underway. I promise there will be a pattern soon, hopefully within a week or so. So enough of that, on to the next. Okay, so next up, I was on Ravelry. I mentioned earlier that I was thinking about doing a post on how to use Ravelry really effectively, because I honestly haven't been. I've only just started using it quite a bit more than I did before, even though I've been a member there for a few years now. Sorry. Hopefully I can stop coughing now. So I still want to do that, and I'm wondering, do you guys just want some tips? Maybe like 1 tip a week, make a little series out of it. I always hesitate to do series because I think that people interpret them as like a way to kind of pad your blog with like skimpy little posts, and that's not, I'm not trying to hit like a certain post count every week, and I wouldn't want to do it that way and have people think that I'm just making like fluff. If you think that a series would be helpful, I'm happy to do that for sure. The other option is I was thinking about downloading a software that would like record my movements on my computer, so I could kind of take you through like, here's this new yarn I got, this is how I add it to my stash, this is how I look at patterns that would use that yarn, this is how I put it in my queue, and then this is how I maybe like search a forum post for helpful information. I don't know, something like that would be more of what you guys are interested in seeing. Definitely let me know, because I'm happy to share. I know that like the level of technical expertise is different for everybody. You know, I'm learning new things all the time, and I'm pretty savvy with my computer, so I'm happy to kind of share some tips and tricks. The point of what I'm saying is I was on Ravelry, and I don't really go on the forums that much. I go in the forum, I have like some specific groups within the forums. You know, there's like a Fiberista Club group, and then some groups for different knitting blogs that I really like. But other than that, I don't really go on the forums that much. And one day I click to the forums and I see this like for sale thread, and it's people selling stuff. And somebody put up a post with like all these brand new needles in different sizes, blah, 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 that she had. And I felt like it was a really good deal. And, you know, I tried those carbons, which were sent to me, and I loved them. But then I gave them away because I wanted to have a really fun giveaway. So I don't have those anymore. And I was like, I really want some awesome new needles. So I saw this person selling her new needles, and I was really excited about it. So what I decided to buy from her, I paid, I should have looked this up and given you guys the original prices for all these needles. But the ones that I bought from her is first an Addy Turbo. This is in a 47-inch US size 2. So that one. And then an Addy Turbo Lace. This is a 40-inch in a US size 3. This is not in here because it's currently on a project pause. I'm going to go grab that project for you. 1 second. Just so we can see the needles, because I kind of want to talk about the differences of them. And this is the first time that I've really gone into like more premium needles. So 1 second. Okay, so I grabbed a few things over there. If you are kind of new to knitting, or you're still using basic materials, I thought I would really quickly show you my progression of needles. Also, any of the needles that are back here, these are needles that I started out with, but that I just don't use anymore. But I have taken out anything that I thought would be useful for somebody else and set them aside for friends who want to learn to knit. And then any of the ones that I still have back there are just kind of sentimental ones. So my first needles right here, they were this aluminum set available at like Joann's. These are a size 13. I used it to make a scarf, as we all do. And then from there, instead of this metal, this is, I guess this is aluminum, I went to wood needles. That's how I decided that I really liked using wood needles, but I don't really use straight needles much anymore. So these, I keep these because I don't have a lot of big needles, and I could conceivably use these again someday. This set, it's just sentimental. I'm not going to get rid of my first set. So from there, I went to bamboo fixed circulars, just like this. I kept, what is this? This is just a Clover US size 10. I kept these because at the time I was doing a lot of work on size 10s, And if I needed the needles for something else, I wanted to be able to switch them over to here. So this is like the first time I went away from just like super, super basic needles. I tried these. From there, my mom surprised me with a Knit Picks interchangeable set in the, I think these are called Harmony. It's the purple color. They now have a blue-green color. It's called Caspian. So she got me the interchangeable set. I believe it goes from the tips size 4 through 11, I believe. And I like them so much that I started getting, for anything smaller, this is a 3. It's not labeled, but I just know it's a 3 because of where I grabbed it from. These are fixed circulars. Once you go smaller than the 4, they don't offer interchangeable circulars anymore. So I didn't plan to talk about needles so much. I don't know why I'm doing it, but we'll get there at some point. So these are 3. I also have them in a 2. So if you are looking to kind of step up your needle game and try something that's a little different than like this style that you would get at Joann's, I definitely recommend the Knit Picks interchangeable circular set and even the fixed ones. So well, let me think about this. My mom surprised me with this set 3 years ago, and from then, like 99.99% of my knitting has been done on these needles. I really like the tips, very happy with them. Certain sizes I use quite a bit, and I've noticed that they're wearing down. I mentioned that in my Carbons post, but these needles are were either purchased by me or given to me by my mom. Definitely not gifted in any sense. My only complaints with these, and the thing is, like, I didn't realize it when this was all I had and this is all I was using. I thought they were phenomenal. No complaints. They were great. Now that I have tried some other styles, I think I now have some complaints, and it's only because I realize that there's a different option available. So if you just want to get a set and that you're going to love, I mean, I think this is a really great choice. I think it's, you know, they're not cheap to get the set. It's a little bit of an investment, but I think it's worth it. My only other complaint would be that my set came from that local knitting shop in Jackson Hole, and it was an older set, which actually worked out to my benefit. Sorry. Because it was the old manufacturing. They've been fantastic. Since then, I have heard that they have moved their manufacturing to a different location. I don't know where it moved from to, no idea. I don't follow that kind of stuff. But literally every single set that I've bought since then, fixed or interchangeable. I said that the set goes from 4 to 11. So I ended up getting 13, 15, and 17. And then I got the fixed 2s and 3s. Every single set has come disconnected from this little metal. Every single one. And Knit Picks customer service is definitely good. They will send you another set of needles, but there is nothing more frustrating than buying something with your own money and then immediately having it come apart. So I just started super gluing them back together. I think it's a little frustrating that I have to do that, but once they've been super glued, it really hasn't been a problem. I've never broken a needle. I still really like the wood. I like the tension that it puts on my yarn. I think they're beautiful. I think, personally, I'm not too much of a purple person. I think the Caspian set is even more beautiful, but these guys are like my workhorse needles. If I could just switch the cables, they would be perfect. I would adore them. So there you go. If you kind of want to like try something that's one step up from anything that you could get at like a mass retailer, obviously Knit Picks is still a mass retailer, but this is kind of like easing into the premium supplies, I think, for me. This is a great option. So let's go back to the ones that I bought on Ravelry. I want to talk about the difference between the Addi Turbos and the Addi Turbo Lace. So the Addi Turbo Lace, I'm only going to show this briefly because this is a project that's in progress right now, and I don't want to give it all away. I'll see if I can hold the project in my lap and just show you the needle. So these are the lace. They are gold. They have a nice pointy tip, and I'm going to guess that that's how they differentiate the turbos from the Turbo Lace. They are metal. They have a nice feel. I used to say that I hated metal, and I'll be honest, it's because I was using metal like these, and then fixed circulars also from a similar, I don't know who makes these. These are Boy, is that how you pronounce it? I just don't like it. I feel like I can't keep tension on this metal. There's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't work for my style of knitting. Something about this metal, I quite like. As soon as I got these, I took my Henslow off the knit picks that it was on and switched it over to this. Definitely a fan. This tip is awesome. The cable, not so great. It's not as flexible as I would personally like. The join from the cable to the needle is nice. I've never gotten anything caught there, but it's not as nice of a cable as what was on those carbons. So then let's compare those. Those are the Turbo Lace, and then these are the Addi Turbos. These are in a size 2. I tried these just the other night for maybe a pair of socks. The problem with these, okay, so these are silver. Hopefully that's an easy way to differentiate. I would hope that all the Turbos are one and all the Turbo Laces are a different color. These tips, I don't know if you guys can see, they're not sharp at all. And when you are on a size 2 and you have this really blunt tip, I found it nearly impossible to catch my stitches really well, even on just like a basic knit stitch, like not even doing anything crazy. So that was really disappointing. But then I feel like this cable might be a little better than the lace cable, which is so frustrating. Again, the cable's still not as nice as the carbons. That so far is like my favorite cable that I've come across, but both these needles, still really happy with them. I got them for a good price. I don't know if I said it already, I got the Turbo Lace and this other set, which I'll talk about in a second. Plus, all of these shipped to me from that seller for 25 bucks, which I think for premium needles is a pretty great price. So these are the gold ones are the Turbo Lace. Love is the answer there. These are the Turbos. I like them. I think if they were in a bigger size than the 2, I'd probably be pretty happy with them, but the tips are just not sharp enough for what I need when I'm working with like a lace or a really light fingering yarn. The other option that I got, and I think I mentioned these when I showed my completed socks. These are the, I don't even want to know how to say this, Chia or Chiao Gu bamboo tiny little circulars. These things are so cute. These are, it's just a 9-inch circular. Come on. I opened them, but I haven't used them yet. And these I've heard are really, it's just like, this is all there is. I've heard that these are really great for socks, for mittens, or for like sleeves. So these are a size 3, which is a little big usually for socks. So that's why I haven't started with them yet. But there's definitely some socks and mitts where they would absolutely work well. I'm sure that they would work well for a sleeve. So I'm going to try these, and if I love it, I can definitely see myself getting some other sizes. So there's that. Okay, so I want to show you guys the yarn that I picked up in Salt Lake City. I don't know. I don't have an answer for this. I swore that I was going to stop adding to my stash so much, and I feel like I haven't done that well, and I feel guilty about it, like literally, which probably means that I should stop. But at the same time, I feel like the more knitting I'm doing and the more I'm talking about all these different yarns, and honestly, the more I'm getting the stuff from Fiberista Club, I kind of want to move away from mass retailer, not even mass retailer, it's not about that. It's about buying online, like the cheapest price that I can find, and supporting more local yarn shops. As a small business owner, I definitely know how seasonal business goes, and I just, in as much as I can, would like to support a local yarn shop. I don't care if I'm buying Cascade 220 from there, because that's a great yarn. It's just about the money going to them instead of like a mass online retailer. So I feel like, because there aren't really, there's that one local yarn shop for me that's 2 hours away, but other than that, there's not one I can get to. So I feel like when I'm in a town where there's a local yarn shop, that's kind of like a sightseeing thing for me. That's something that I like to do. And my mom and I actually didn't get to a yarn shop in Orlando when we were there. We talked about it, we found one, we just couldn't find the time. So when I was in Salt Lake City, I found a yarn shop. It is called, let me see if they have a little, oh, they don't have a little, this is my bag. I was hoping to find like a little business card or have it printed. I think it was called Camille's. It was in maybe like West Jordan. If you know the Salt Lake City area, you probably know that better than me. And I vowed that the one thing I would not do is I would not like do those. Remember when I was talking about stashing, yarn stashes, and I said that my weaknesses are, one, buying stuff that I know that I love and I feel like I'll never see again, which is how I usually buy stuff. It's like, oh, I love this, I need it, I need more of it. I'll always have something to do with it. So I didn't want to do that. The other thing that I do is I tend to see stuff on sale because it's on sale. I'm like, this is a great deal. Obviously I need it. I didn't want to do that. And then I wanted to buy new options in suitable quantities to complete a project. So let me show you what I got. The final thing is that I realized that I have a lot of these like really vibrant, not even vibrant, like rich, deep kind of winter colors. I don't have a lot in the way of spring colors. I'm gonna pause for 1 second. Do you guys hear that click on? I hope you didn't. The reason that this room is my office is because there is a boiler for a radiant floor in this closet right here, and I really hope it doesn't come across on camera, but I can't make it stop. It's like how we heat our house, and it has suddenly turned into winter again, so it's got to be on. So I felt like I didn't have a lot of like spring, bright, fun options, and I wanted some, honestly. And so what I picked up is the first one. I'm not gonna, let me see, Austerman, I believe is how you pronounce it, Step. This is a sock yarn. Let me show on the label. So it makes these like fun striped options. It's like, I'm not sure how it's gonna come across. It's like cream and peach into like a really peachy orange. So they have this. This is a, I mean, I know it's enough for to make obviously a pair of socks. So it is a superwash wool and nylon blend made in the Czech Republic. That's where my people are from. That's cool. So how many yards do we have here? It says 420 meters, 100 grams. So, I mean, obviously you'll see this for socks. So I'm still, because I'm new to socks, I'm still using some of my like more affordable options until I figure out how to get a really good fit for my foot. But when I do, this is definitely going to be a pair of socks. I'm very excited about it. So the other thing I got is these. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but the colors, I just couldn't even say no to it, only because of the colors. This is called Simplicity by Haiku. It is merino acrylic nylon blend, which normally I don't go for nylon blends, but I like because then it adds some washability to it. I don't mind hand washing stuff, but it's always nice. These are to be knit on US 4 through 6. Oh, I should show them. So the first is this like awesome minty color, and then this really pretty peachy pink color. Look how pretty those are. So I was thinking like maybe do something with them together. I don't want to like keep doing the same thing, but I think like a really loose 2-color brioche in these would be beautiful, or maybe just do some color work. So here's the label. Again, these are 107 meters each. I don't know meters to yardage, but I want to say that's like somewhere in the 120 plus yards a piece. So 2 and 2. I got these. And then the last thing I got was like on the way out, I saw it and I couldn't say no. This is 1 and 2. This is baby alpaca lace. They had a lot of Plymouth yarn brands there. It was kind of leaning very heavily towards that way. So, oh my god, my hair's everywhere. This is 100% baby alpaca and lace weight, 50 grams, approximately 437 yards. So I got a ton of yardage right here. And this kind of leads into the next thing that I wanted to talk about, which is my next project. I am working on that brioche cowl. I am working on this project right here that you guys will see before long. And then other than that, I don't really have something going on now that I finished my Henslow. So I definitely wanted to do something in lace, like full on lace. And the 3 options that I'm thinking about are this one right here. And then this is Juniper Moon Farm, thinly dappled. It is a merino wool silk blend The color is Driftwood. I thought the color was Dove, but I'm just remembering wrong. The color is Driftwood. It's this beautiful like creamy taupe color. I saw this yarn online of all places ages ago during like a really big sale, and I almost picked up a bunch because I thought it would be really pretty for weaving. I told myself no, I didn't need it, and then many months ago, before I was dealing with my stash issues, I saw this at my local yarn shop in Jackson, and I picked it up, and I've just been wanting to do something with it since then. So this is, I don't know if I said it already, 100 grams, 798 yards for this. And the nice thing about this is that it's already like pre-wound into a ball, so I might use it just because I don't have to wind it. And then the other lace option, of course, is my Spellbound Fiber Company from my Fiberista Club. This was not March, February? Was this February? I think it was. I gave the purple one to my mom, so this is the one that I have left. So I'm going to be totally honest here, guys. I am thinking about using this just because I don't have to wind it. I know that sounds so horrible. For all the knitting that I do not have a yarn swift. For anybody who's not familiar with it, I have a ball winder, which is nice because it makes, I wish I had one here, it makes a really nice cake, so that you can do like a center pole. I've showed these before, most people know what they are, but I don't have a swift. And what a swift is, it's kind of like an umbrella that expands, and you can put the skein on it, and then it doesn't get tangled. So when I am winding something, I literally like take the loop out and then put it around my neck. It's so dumb. I don't know why I do it, because I don't have a better way, honestly. And it's like excruciating. It's the worst thing. I hate it. I hate winding yarn so much. So I have this like tendency to only use what I have wound or what is really easy to wind. But that means I'm never going to use these two, and obviously I need to. So I need a yarn swift, and I need your suggestions on which one to get. There wasn't one at the yarn shops that I went to, because that was my first thing. I was like, let's support a local yarn shop and check out one there. I obviously would get it there if I could. The other option, I know that Knit Picks has one. That's where my ball winder is from. My mom just gave me, she had a spare and she gave me hers. So that's the one that I use. The other option is that I got like a 60% off coupon for Joann's. I'm sure everybody gets these. I just got it in my email, and I was thinking like, okay, fine, I'll finally get a yarn swift. And then they had 3 options, and they had like really varied reviews, and I panicked. I don't know which one to buy. So if you have one that you love, please let me know. And then maybe I can use this instead of just defaulting to the one that's pre-wound, which is what I'm going to do otherwise. As for what I'm going to do with this, I have been seeing these pie shawls everywhere lately. It's a big round shawl, and it's cool because it uses like a very specific formula for how many rows you have to knit before you just double your stitches to get like a piece that lays really flat. Maybe that doesn't make much sense, but I will link to something that hopefully explains it better than I just did. And you can do all different, like you could just do really simple yarn over like eyelet look, or you can do really intricate lace look. And I think in terms of the stuff that I wear, I think I would probably prefer the eyelet one, but I've mentioned this before, that I cannot do a project if I think it's boring, if it's just not interesting enough to me. So I will probably do a really intricate lace one, just so I have to keep counting, and it keeps me intrigued and it keeps me going. So I think that's the project that I'm going to do. And then I don't want to get too into it now. I will explain it if I start on this. There's like a change that I want to make to it, so it's a little more wearable for me, and I will definitely explain that on the blog. So the last thing that I want to talk about is giveaways. So I did that first giveaway for the Carbons needles, and then the 2 balls of Capretta from Knit Picks in the color Harbor. And there was a winner. Obviously the winner was announced on the little raffle copter, but her name was Hannah. She's very excited. I'm very excited for her. I was blown away by the response to that giveaway. It was awesome. I was really excited. I think upwards of like 500, 550 entries, which is amazing. I was really excited. So thank you for everybody who entered that. I promised that I was going to start doing just like giveaways for the fun of it, like out of my own pocket, out of whatever tiny little bit of ad revenue I get from the sites or from the ads that are on the site. And I decided I'm just going to start I'm going to call it like Milkshed favorites. and it's just my favorite stuff. It's just that simple. Like, no real motivation. I mean, maybe I'll think about like time of year. I probably should. That would be smart. It could be yarn, it could be needles, it could be project bags, it could be a book, it could be a magazine. I don't know. It could be anything. And I decided what better place to start than the yarn that I have talked about more than any other yarn. This is the yarn that took me from kind of like a, oh, I can knit, to like, I'm a knitter. I'm gonna go grab it 1 second. Okay, I'm back. My mom bought me 2 skeins of this yarn at that the same day she bought me my mom's the best. I just told you she gave me a set of Knit Picks interchangeables, my ball winder, and this yarn. So she bought the yarn here that I used here to make this cowl. This is that falling water cowl that I've had for like ages. The yarn, it's gonna be so embarrassing. It's called Maxima from Manos, which means hands, correct? I didn't take Spanish. Manos del Uruguay, Maxima. This one, is this one called Oxygen? It's this really pretty like tealy blues. It looks like water, I think. This is the yarn. This was like my first time using a premium yarn. My first time using something that was like custom dyed. I mean, it blew my mind the first time I used it. So I figured like, but what better way to launch this whole favorite series than giving away a skein of this yarn. And the nice thing about it is that it's something like 220 yards. Let's look, 219 yards, which is enough to make like a 1 skein project. So when I was at the local yarn shop picking out the colors to do that brioche cowl, I picked up this one, and I'm so jealous because these are like my 3 favorite colors. So I picked up this one, grays into like a really pretty denim blue, into like a straight up hot pink, like neon pink. Love it. This says that what color is it? Oh, it doesn't say. I wish it said. I'll have to look it up. It's the color, the lot, or the color code, that's what I want to say, is M7121. So I'll figure out what the color is called. I don't even know how it knits up, but I think it's awesome. I love this yarn. I'm really excited about it, and I just want to start sharing some of like my favorite things with you guys. So this is officially available for giveaway. I did that Rafflecopter for the other giveaway because it was like formal. It was like a brand gave me these needles to try out, and I wanted to like do it properly. Too much work for something like this. So if you want to be entered into the giveaway for this, why don't you just leave a comment on this video or leave a comment on the blog post. Those are the 2 ways. I don't want to compile like a ton of different things from like Twitter and Instagram and all that, but comment on the video, comment on the blog, that's all. Make sure you leave either your Ravelry ID or an email address that I can get a hold of you at, and I'm just going to give this away. Let's say that, I don't know when I'm going to end it because I don't know when this video is going to go up, but look below this video in the post or in the description for a timeline for the giveaway. And yeah, from me to you, one of my favorite yarns. So with that, I think we're done for today. Thanks for watching, and tell me what you want to do about Ravelry. If you have a yarn Swift suggestion, definitely let me know. And I guess since I'm trying all different kinds of needles, if you have a favorite needle that you think I should try out, definitely share that with me too. So that is everything. Thanks for watching. Bye.